Today, I want to start this episode off by saying I want to tell y'all a little bit about why I do this. Okay, so a couple months before I started telling these stories, I was working out at our community center here in Baton Rouge. And working out, it got a place where you can go lift weights and exercise and do stuff like that. And I met this young guy, you know what I'm saying? I end up really liking this young guy. I end up showing him how to lift and, do things like that. And, I went the day his mother came and picked him up. He was around 14 when I first met him. When his mother came, picked him up, I met his mother and he told his mother, this who I be lifting with, Mom. This who showed me how to work out, He was a respectable little guy. I liked him, but at the time he was living a double life. He was hanging with a bunch of guys, they was getting into shootouts and, shooting at other little young guys their age, So one day he had ended up getting into some trouble. And his mother had ended up coming to me and she was like, could you talk to him? Because, this been going on for a while. The guys actually came, shot up her house and all kind of stuff like that. So I said, yeah, I'll talk to him because I don't want nothing to happen to him. I like him or whatever. She like, he ain't going to school. His grades are horrible. He's starting to get disrespectful. He's just a whole different child than the child I raised. And I was like, yeah, where is he now? So she begins to tell me she came home fussing at him one day, and they got into an argument and he left and she haven't been able to find him since. So I told her, well, give me the address of some of his friends and some of the places he hang out. So, after that, I rode and rode and rode and rode and rode. I had to ride for about a week looking for him. Till I started running into people in some of the neighborhoods that he hang out in with his friends, and they started to lead me to other places till finally this one day, maybe like a week and a half later, I found him, and I was like, boy, come here. I ain't go at him all hostile. I ain't go at him trying to intimidate him or nothing. I went to him and I got down on his level and I talked to him on his level. Yeah, man, bro, you can't be disrespecting your mama, man. I know you out here in these streets, bro. You ain't got to hide nothing from me because I ain't going to judge you or I ain't going to discipline you. I'm just going to try to tell you, give you advice to keep you alive out here in these streets, man. So you got a friend in me, man. Talk to me and whatever. So ever since that day I found him, we began to connect and get tighter. I started taking him fishing. I started taking him on camping trips. I started taking him everywhere. And then we started hanging together and he started improving. He started going back to school. His grades got better and everything. He spent more time with me than he spent with those guys, his friends. So, as our relationship began to develop, he was 17 at this time. So, he'll hang with me, then he'll hang with his friends. So they end up getting into a shooting, him and his friends, and the little guy got killed, And I talked to him, I say, did you pull that trigger that killed that young man? He was like, no, and he told me, but I was in the car. He say, man, but I didn't shoot. I didn't even have a gun. He say, and basically he just felt pressured to go, So I talked to him and I told him, how wrong that was and all the situations and whatever, And I told him, it's a possibility that you still can go to jail because you are accessory to this. I explained to him the seriousness of this situation. And somebody lost their life. So after that, he began to make better decisions. And then, one day he supposed to meet me at the community center to come work out, and comes along two more of his friends. Now, when these guys come, these guys is disrespectful. They cursing in front of me, you know what I'm saying? And they young 17-year-olds, so, the cursing, I ain't really pay too much attention to it, but I still tried to, mentor them. They was more hardcore than he was. But after a while, I end up sinking in through them too by telling them my experiences and things and what lies ahead for them. and some of the things I seen, the same stories I'm telling you guys. And, I started to see a change in these guys. These guys starting to go back to school. I'm getting calls from their mother. They like, whatever you done to my child, you the best thing that ever happened to all of us. They aunties, they grandmothers, they bring me food. They fell in love with me. Most of them I'm still in touch with to this day. We're a family now. And and so one day, I met up with the guys. I was gonna take all of them fishing and whatever. Then we was all gonna go to the arcades. Then we was gonna go fishing and stuff like that. We just had a fun-filled day playing. So they was excited, I was excited. So when we all met up, they was like, man, some guys, they tried to kill us last night. So I was asking them who the guys are. And they told me, you know what I'm saying, it was the guys, you know what I'm saying, of the young friend that got killed. But the two guys, the friends that my little buddy brought along with him, they wasn't even in the car that day that little guy got killed. Just my little buddy was in the car. But they all associate with the guys who actually pulled the trigger. So if you associate with the guys, you gang related or you clique related, and you subject to getting murdered. So, I asked them who the guys was, where the guys stay at, and different things like that. And I said, hey, I need to get in touch with these little young guys. So I started going to these little guys' house. They were never at home. And these little guys had mothers, they just put it like this. They just wasn't that involved in their life. So, I'll go to other neighborhoods that the mothers are trying to point me into, but they didn't know too much. But I'll start talking to the older guys that's, OGs in these neighborhoods that's been around for a minute. And you can see that they providing the drugs and they really control the neighborhood and they influencing these little guys. So they'll always lead me on a wild goose chase, telling me the guys somewhere else when the guys are actually right inside the dope house that y'all slanging out of. You just don't want me to talk to them because that's your bread and butter. They make your money. So, I keep coming by. I can never get in touch with these guys. But I never give up trying to get in touch with them. Because I know I need to talk to these guys before something else happens and somebody else get seriously hurt. So, maybe about a month later, of me taking all three of the guys, and all three of the guys have became exceptional students. And my little buddy, I helped his family, bought him his first car. So, they had a prom coming up. So they was all riding, the two friends was riding with my little buddy to prom, and they girlfriends, they was all doing the triple date thing for prom. So the night of the prom, they end up going to the prom, having a good time, and then after they was taking their girlfriends out to eat. So they all went out to eat after the prom, and when they come out the restaurant, shots start breaking out. Shots start firing from every which way. Now, one of the little guys that was with my buddy, he had a gun in the car, in my little buddy car, and he went and got it and started shooting back at the guys. So the guys took off, and they all jumped in the car and saying, drive, drive, drive. But they didn't realize they didn't have a driver. My little buddy was laid on the ground and he was gone. They had then shot him through and through his head. Through and through his head. I lost my little buddy that day. And this cap I wear belonged to my little buddy. And I wear it all the time, because it makes me feel close to him, because I really had gotten attached to him, So, I'm still in touch with his family. I'm still in touch with those other two guys, I I actually got the guy who actually was with my little buddy and started shooting. I actually got him a lawyer because, he was charged in that shooting as well. And he ended up having to do a little time, but it wasn't much. And he came home with 2 years probation. And to this day, I still deal with them. They actually just left me not too long ago. I actually let them come to my business and do jobs around there, work, earn extra money. I still deal with them. And now they are completely away from those friends that's living their life. I put them in a different environment now. But to this day, I still haven't made any contact with any of those young guys that they was beefing with, because the older guys, they are the main problem. They wouldn't help me. And all I needed to do was contact them, and I knew I could have fixed it. I knew I could have ended this here. But I just wanted to tell y'all that little story. And one more thing I like to add. And finally, those guys and some of my older friends told me, maybe you could reach them by telling your story on social media, YouTube, something like that. I thought about it for a while. I just didn't come straight and do it. It took me a while to think about it. About the same amount of time it's taken me to think about when the guy, the up-and-coming director, asked me to make either a series or a movie about these stories. Because I like to think things through. How much will it help? How much will it harm? Before I just jump into anything. I've always been a thinker. So I just wanted to tell y'all that. All right, on a lighter note, let's get into this episode. Okay, so we're going to pick up from the next work day. So, we all go to work. Everybody who on the workforce, we eat chow, then it's time for work. So we all working, and we actually excited to, do the project that we working on, and we working and working. So about an hour into that work, Noah said he got to go use the bathroom. So Noah go use the bathroom. And I'm going to give you like a rough estimate how far the bathroom is. It's about 50 to 100 feet away from where we at. It don't have a bathroom exactly where we at. It's on the outer hall. So we all, get back to work. Noah gonna use the bathroom. We kind of lose track of time because we working. So finally, Pop says, "Hey man, Noah ain't came back here yet." And now we all alert, like, what? Yeah, you right. He ain't came back yet. And we know how quick things happen. Let's go check on Noah. So we heads out and we looking for Noah. We go to the bathroom. We don't see no Noah. We just walk in and Noah. We don't see him. So we leaves back out and we goes walking through all the areas that's accessible. And we still don't see him. So finally we said, let's go check the bathroom good. So we goes back and we start opening up the stalls or whatever. And finally we see Noah right there knocked out on the floor. So needless to say, we start trying to revive Noah, and he start coming around, and we start, man, what happened? Who did this shit, man? We mad, we ready to go attack. He like, hey, bro, Monroe came up in here, and Robert came up in here with the other little dude. Now, the other little dude he's talking about, he's from a whole nother tier. But like I said, this workforce, and people come from all over the prison, not just inside the tier we in. This other guy named Meathead that's with him. Meathead did this, man. So he say, man, hey, bro, they all jumped me, but Meathead the one who knocked me out. So now we on fire. That y'all done went made friends with this other guy from the other tier and came in here and attacked Noah. And we thinking because the bathroom 50 to 100 feet away, he was going to be all right going to the bathroom by himself. But apparently not, So we all get gnawed up and we all go back to work and we still talking and we mad or whatever. My head smoking. So I'm like, man, I'm about to go smoke a cigarette. So, when you go smoke a cigarette, you can't smoke in carpool. You can't even smoke in detail. You got to go by the shop, like where where you have shop class there and do stuff in shop, make stuff and stuff like that. They got an area over there where you can smoke it. So I'm patting my pockets for my cigarette, you know what I'm saying? And me and Pop goes by the shop to go smoke, because he smokes also. Okay, now let me explain to you how Shop made. Shop made, it's a big room with a bunch of little different stations and areas, you know what I'm saying, in it. And some areas that you could go stand in and you can see people, but they can't see you because you separated by a wall, but you can still peep around and see people, and they'll never know you even in this room, along with different closets and different things like that. Okay, so we smoking, you know what I'm saying, and where we at is like you got the breezeway, the fence, the outside door, and the yard, the field, that's blocking us, but it's a gate right here because we can't even go to the field from right here. So it's a gate that's blocking us from even going forward on either side, So we right there. And we talking, we like, man, hey, bro. So they all jumped him, but me the one who hit him with the mop. Now the mop we talking about is about that big around. It's a prison mop. And he hit Nard with the mop, after they finished jumping him, and knocked Nard out. So we just talking about that, they won't play with weapons. So we hear the door open. Because, now the door is still cracked because you got to put something in that door. And plus that door stays cracked all the time. Because it's shop. They let it air out. It's get very dusty up in there, because they always working with saws and drills and different things like that. So we outside there smoking, and we hear the entrance door open. So we see a guard actually escorting an inmate in. It's a young looking mix, like he's mixed between black and Spanish or whatever, kind of guy, with curly hair and whatever, you could just tell he's mixed. Okay, so the guard brings him in, and we can hear everything they talking about, And he asked the guard, what you wanted to talk to me about? So at this time, we thinking, the inmate was maybe working somewhere, and he did something that the guard didn't like, so the guard pulled him to the side, to discipline him. So he steady asking the guard, what is it, what I did? What you want to talk to me about? So the guard proceeds to tell him, well, what I want you to do is I want you to get on your knees, and I want you to suck my cock. Just like that. So the young guy proceeds to tell him, hey, I don't do that, man. I'm not gay. I don't do that. I'm not with that, man. Hey, just take me back to where I was working at, And he's going on, and the guard just sitting there and say, I could do one or two things for you. I could take your ass, I could beat your ass, and I could take your ass and throw you in the hole and leave your ass there for a few months until you make your mind up. But one way or another, you're going to suck my cock. I'm not lying. So the young guy is still reluctant. He's like, please, man, I don't want to do this, man. No. So the guard says, put your fucking hand out. And he says, and he puts his hand out nervously, but he put his hands out. And the guard takes his stick and hits him on his wrist. And the young guy, he's hollering. He's really hollering. But the guard don't have no sympathy. And he say, do I have to do more? Or are you going to suck my cock? I'm telling you, this is what's happening right now. We even shocked to be hearing this. So the guard started talking to him, and the guard hits him with an open hand. Slaps him in his face with an open hand. Now we peeping and we watching all this, because we not walking in this situation. Because if we walk in this situation, we witnessing something we shouldn't even be witnessing. So we gonna stay there until this over with. So after a couple more minutes of the guard, actually, I call it torturing this young man finally gives in and says, I'll do it. And the guy grabs his shoulders and pushes him down to his knees and starts unzipping his pants. And he actually makes this young guy, sucks him off. And we right here, maybe about 20 feet away from them, while he does this to this inmate. Somebody who's there to guard the inmates and protect the inmates. Yeah, keep yourself safe, but you chose this job. You chose this line of profession. And you are abusing your authority. And this happens all the time. Like I said, I'm going to tell y'all everything. The things that they don't want y'all to know. That goes on. So after that happens, we takes off after that. We takes off back to carpool to go tell all the guys what happened. So by the time we get back to carpool, they rolling Nord out on a stretcher because apparently he had started blanking in and out from getting hit with the mop. So, they rolling him out. And we concerned about him till we forget about what had just happened. So now the guards cut the workday short and they escorted us back to the tier. So when I get in the tier, I go get myself together. I go take me a shower or whatever. So when I come out the shower, I see Baby Charles and BTZ arguing. So I'm seeing this. So I goes to Baby Charles and pull him away from BTZ and like, man, what's going on? What's this about? And he like, Baby Charles started telling me like, oh, he want me to fuck and whatever, but I don't want to fuck him or whatever. So come to find out, Baby Charles had been sleeping with one of his cellmates, but the cellmate don't want nobody to know they've been sleeping together or even messing around. He really on the down low, like doing this shit with Baby Charles or whatever. But I'm telling Baby Charles, man, you got to try to get you a crew or you got to do something else, man, because you starting to argue with everybody every day. So me and Baby Charles running for a little minute, and after that, I head back to my cell, because I'm going trying to relax a little bit, man, because I'm tired of all the things that had just happened, So after that, I hear a bunch of hollering going on, and I go runs out the cell. This the dude Northdale who Queen Sugar and them had tied his hands between the bar and took him. He up there with a battery sock, beating all them with the battery sock. And we watching this, and everybody laughing and whatever. And finally, they rush him all at once and get the battery sock and beat him and take him again. And all you hear them up there, oh yeah, we're going to give it to you until you like it this time. We're going to make you mine. You're going to make you ours this time. We're going to make you ours this time. Real talk. They took that dude, I ain't going to even must lie, for about 2 hours. They gave it to him for about 2 hours straight. So finally, I'm finally in my cell relaxing, and the thing that relaxed me is my art. So I'm drawing. And before you know it, I hear some more commotion. So I come out, I can't yet pinpoint where it's coming from. So I end up looking in Laco's cell, and I see a lot of shoving and moving and stuff going on up there. So I runs up the stairs. I call Pop, and Pop comes running up the stairs. So I see Broomfield, the cop murderer, in Laco's cell trying to jug Laco. And Laco fighting him off, and one of his roommates actually helping him. And they struggling, so Broomfield don't see us behind him, and Pop push Broomfield. And when he push him, they actually get the upper hand over Broomfield, and they start beating him, and we all join in, beating him and stomping him. But at this time, he got this knife still in his hand, and he just swings any kind of way, and he jugs Laco roommate. He stabs him right between the shoulder blade. So finally, we got the knife, and we wrestling him with the knife, and Pop bit his hand. And he dropped that knife, and when he dropped that knife, we tore his ass up. We stomped his ass. We even tried to throw him over the balcony. That motherfucker strong. He was holding on the balcony. He was holding on it. So finally, we started stomping him some more in front of the balcony. So he getting up fighting, and he runs back down the stairs. So now we head to the door and beat on the door. We beat on the door for about 30 minutes before the guards actually come in to get this man some help. And when they come in and get this man some help and take this man out, they don't come back no more. Because we can all remember saying, hey, don't do nothing else today because them guards coming back. They never come. We on our own in this prison, and it gets a hell of a lot worse. Right now, I'm working on dropping the next video. It'll be coming to you today.